Good morning once again, traders. It's Traders Daily Discipline for September 18, 2025. Thanks for coming. I'm your host, Jason Allen, as always. Had little house cleaning here. Just had a lot of likes and updates and whatnot over the last day or so. And I just wanted to say thanks again for that. I really appreciate getting the feedback from committed traders because I think as time goes on, you'll see that the point of view that I hold and the information dialogue that I can share with you, it's going to be groundbreaking for most people. It just is. And I'm not saying that to blow my own horn. I'm just saying what we're talking about in here is truly life changing. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. So let's get our quote of the day up to get us rolling. Any transition serious enough to alter your definition of self will require not just small adjustments in your way of living and thinking, but a full on metamorphosis. And that was said by Martha Beck, who's rumored to be Oprah Winfrey's life coach. Uh, Again, Harvard graduate, PhD, sociologist, educational person. And I have to agree with this point of view from a standpoint of the commitment required, because if you really want to achieve your best results as a trader, you're going to have to make a paradigm shift. It's not optional. Many people who end up failing at this business after maybe some early success, most of the time, the root cause of that failure is their inability to adapt to conditions as they change. And not necessarily market conditions as they change, but internal and external mental conditions as they change. For example, when I went through my catharsis and had my epiphany of understanding, one of the first things I had to do was seriously consider whether or not all the time and money and effort I had spent in learning analysis was valuable. And the conclusion I came to was no, it's not. Total waste of time. All this stuff you read and study on technical analysis. I think we may have even had that conversation here once or twice about my copy of John Murphy's technical analysis for financial markets. I used that for a doorstop for many years, just as a reminder for me not to waste time on all that crap. And when I did that, I got really angry. And the reason I got really angry is because I had spent last time I lost count. I stopped counting at about 60 grand, and I probably spent close to 100K on education, quote unquote. And that's everything. I went to, private weekends and coaching and books and tapes and seminars and weekend retreats. And, I did anything and everything you could think of. I had literally hundreds and hundreds of books and stacks of papers and notes and three-ring binders full of charts with lots of lines and dots and ratios. And I'm trying to figure this out. And one day when I had my epiphany of understanding, it hit me. None of this stuff makes any money. No one I've never met a single person using any of this stuff that's made money consistently. And I got really angry because of the time and effort. I was basically, I said to myself, these people are lying to me. They're either self-deluded or they really believe this crap works, or they already know it doesn't, but they're willing to sell me what I want to hear. And I got really angry, as I'm sure most people would. And I had to do something with that anger, and I had to do something with that understanding. Some people, they would at that point maybe make another conclusion, say, "Oh, this stuff is all. If that's true, then the markets are rigged, and there's no way to make money at it, and I'm never going to do this again." I've met people that have done things like that, where they reach a conclusion based on their empirical evidence that they believe they've gathered, and it's not true, but they believe it anyway, and so that's where they base their life on. So if you're going to make a transition in your world that's serious enough to make you question who it is and what you are and the way you do it, you're going to have to really decide if you're going to put the time and the work and the effort in. One of the hardest things to do is successful commodities or futures or forex trading. It is one of the most difficult things to do and do well. Making $1 million out of next to nothing is like winning the super. It's a financial achievement on the scale of winning a Super Bowl or a championship of some kind for you guys that are into athletics. I don't want to discourage you because every year there's a new group of champions, and there can be champions all over the place in this business. What is that full on metamorphosis that has to change? What is it that you have to change? In my case, I learned I had to change everything. Everything that you could think of, I had to look at and reevaluate and decide if I want to keep it or change it. It was a lot of work. But in the end, I was able to fully develop my trading method and my approach. And in the end, I became net winning at this. And I can do this anytime I want. Anytime I need the cash, it's there. And you guys can do the same thing. It's not a maybe, it's an eventual thing. So get to work on that. What is it that you need to do? What transition are you working on that's serious enough to alter you? What's that metamorphosis that's due for you? What is that paradigm shift? Where is it coming from? Where is it going to? If you want some additional help with this, you guys are always welcome to contact me directly. Send me an email, ask some questions, because I can help you define that paradigm shift and how to make it. So, guys, have a great day. I'm sure after the Fed rate decision yesterday, you had a blast. Well, there's even more coming. So I'll see you again on Friday tomorrow. And between now and then, you know where to reach me if you want to. Love to chat. Guys, have a great day. Thanks.